Hi, I'm Chris, and you're watching Comics First. We're here with the writers and artists of Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. Here to talk about, obviously, the book. My question was, before we started, how much pressure was it writing this third of the trilogy from the original classic that obviously is very, very well known and talked about in the comic community?
Why don't you tell me?
His answer, Brian's answer, was absolutely no pressure. Our artist had a different take.
I would just say, I had a little bit of pressure. I think I felt a little bit of stress, especially on the Frank Miller Adam story, by the way, because first time that I've inked, Frank in 30 years. But we have a handle on it now. I think we know where it's going. We know what it looks like, and I think that's pretty comforting. We're at a good point.
I had a tremendous amount of pressure, as I told you before. Um, but now things are rolling. Things are, going a lot smoother and stuff. But the first time I started, it was a daunting thing. You feel like you got, you know, not only all the fans looking over your shoulder, but you got Frank looking over your shoulder. So you're kind of second and third guessing yourself. But now things are a lot smoother.
Well, that's going to segue into my second question. How much did you guys work with Frank Miller? Obviously, he's not here to talk about it. How much leadway did he give you guys in your own direction? Just kind of only his take? Was it a team thing? How did that work out?
Frank's a cruel taskmaster. He really didn't give us much room to work at all. It was his way or the highway for the most part. And if we deviated, he had the backhand, and it would just like come down. Yeah, it was. We really didn't have any room to play around at all.
I think that Frank has been incredibly generous, and if I may say, he was also incredibly generous when he and I worked on Daredevil and on the first Dark Knight. Um, Frank gave me one note on the Adam story, and it was more pen. So, I'm happy to comply.
At first, it was like I said, it was a daunting thing. But the feedback that I got from Frank settled my nerves a lot and just got me a lot more focused into what I was doing. And really, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. It's just been really, for me, it's been a great experience.
Let me say also, in spite of what Brian says, Frank is, deeply involved in this. His fingerprints are all over the place, and this is, ostensibly really a Frank Miller joint. I mean, it is his, a baby.
Every page of layouts that I do full-size page roughs. I send them to Brian and Frank, just to make sure things are working right. We're all on the same page. They can see where I'm going with it. If there's any corrections, anything, they could let me know at that point. So, and it works out really well.
My next question is going to be an art question. Was there a specific style? Did you want to keep with the older style, or were you trying to change it up and maybe do something a little newer? What was the inspiration art-wise?
I didn't think of it in terms of. I thought I wanted to make it. I guess the term is dark nighty. I wanted to have that feel. I wanted to have that flow, and however that came about, I don't really know. It's just how I just did it basically. You just figure it out.
Like Andy sends the layouts in, and I'll look at them and I'll be like, call him and say, Andy, can you make this page maybe 20% more Dark Knight?
And he was right. He was right.
Chris, part of the I think challenge of doing this, and part of what happens is the rhythm and the pacing of the story is so very Frank Miller-ish, so that the art, the art sort of falls in line with that and helps it become more identifiably Dark Knight. Wouldn't you say, Andy? I mean, just the rhythm,
absolutely.
the pacing, the small panels, the big splashes, all of that is just very reminiscent of Dark Knight.
This is going to be a question for you, Brian. Writing-wise, you're the co-writer. Any inspirations for you on that end for either keeping with the original story, maybe something along today's societal issues and standards? Because obviously you go back to the old one, it has a lot of anarchist type of themes. Anything for this newer generation, or did you keep it again, that older theme, sticking with the Dark Knight style?
Well, the themes in the first one and the second one were 15 years. It happened 15 years apart, so they were different. We've got another 15 years, so it's going to be different again, as far as the political nature of things and just like the shape of the world and how someone like Batman, like his politics fit in with things, or Superman's, because that they in both the first and the second one, they stood for, they had a camp, and it's hard. You can't do Dark Knight without addressing that stuff. That's part of the fabric of the story.
All right, awesome. Next question. I don't know if you guys will be able to answer this. Obviously, the name Master Race had a little bit of a connotation, at least from fan reaction. I want to think you guys had a reason for using that particular title. Would you be able to elaborate?
It was Frank's idea.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
I'll say something, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll say it anyways. Look, I've read a lot of this stuff online recently, and let me use the word, the doubts about the quality of this project. No one has anything to be afraid of. This is an A. Everybody's bringing their A game. It is an amazingly well-crafted story. It's a solid story. This is not baloney. This is a real good project, and it will stand the test of time the way the other two have also. So I'm not worried about that. And one of the pleasures about this is going to be able to go online November 26th and say, ha, ha.
Yep. I guess the last question. What were your favorite parts of writing a story? I mean, what was the most gratifying piece of writing this third piece of such a classic in the comic world?
Well, we're not done yet, but it's been fantastic every step of the way. It was going over to Frank's and working on the story with him. Then, actually writing the script, him giving notes, using the notes, giving them back, him rolling up, hitting me on the head with it, and making the changes that he asked for, and giving it to Andy getting involved in it, and then Andy passing it down to Klaus. It's been really, really a cool thing to be involved in. This is one of those things I'm going to look back on, if I survive it, fondly.
There's been so many good things have happened already, but I think that for me personally, one of the best things has been talking to Frank and reacquainting our friendship and going up to his studio and kind of picking his brain, not only about DK3, but about other things. I'm really enjoying that a lot.
This is for me artistically. My father, who's an artist, I don't know if you guys know who my father was, but my father taught me everything about storytelling. I mean, he spent years with me as far as how to lay out a page, what shots to use when, all this kind of stuff. And then to have Frank over my work. I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have both of those guys over my stuff, to get schooled by both of them. I should be paying them, seriously. I mean, it's really gratifying, and it's great working with them.
Awesome. It was great talking to you guys. Sorry for the inconveniences at the beginning. I'm Chris. You're watching Comics First. Check us out on all types of social media, Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, everything that's out. Go ahead and check it out.